Welcome to Shadowview TV. My name is Phantom Saint, and I'm going to be talking about Core, the new upcoming MOBA that is going to be released on PC and PS4. Come follow along with my special guest, Dark Enix, on Behind the Shadows. Metabuff has released their map concept test on February 4th as an update to their latest project Core. It shows off map A, what we has been shown off to us in the stream, and we're going to be talking about what are some things that we liked about map A and what do we don't like about map A. So tell me some of your thoughts. Enix, take it away.
For sure. For absolute sure, just taking your first peek at it, I will be straightforward and just let everyone out there know I have not played Legacy myself at any point. I actually jumped into Paragon when we were on Monolith. And in general, I wasn't really a MOBA fan. I didn't like the whole top-down dealy thing, and I am a gamer and a competitive gamer in chess, just regular the board game. So I like that strategy-based part of actual competitive gameplay, but I didn't think that a MOBA with a top-down view could hold my interest very well. Well, until I found Paragon. In general, yeah, that was a lot different. And then from that point on, once Paragon was killed, I was kind of sad. And now hearing about this and jumping back in, and we are already waiting for this awesome Core. Well, I will say from all of our points of view as consumers that also loved the game before and what this is going to be shaped up into, that I really feel this is extremely promising. And also, the map itself, just in first glance, is so big. It looks like there could be hours and hours of fun on it. And I really feel like they just brought the whole, what I've seen of Legacy to life in a brand new way and in a brand new game.
Yes, that's definitely true because let me tell you this, Legacy, during the Legacy days, it can range from 50 minutes of game time to almost like an hour and a half of game time. That's how suspense and epic the game is as far as Legacy standards, because you can literally, it only takes one screw up to cost the whole entire game from your side or from the enemy side. It's like it can vary between the two. Depends on if one person screw up, and that's going to be the end of the game for them. That's what I like about Legacy, because you could go on for hours upon hours. Not like, hours of fun, get on to the next game, and then go in for another hour straight, kill it. I am very happy that they're bringing this back. I mean, I also kind of like Monolith too, because let me tell you this, it's fast-paced, and you can easily, run through things pretty quickly. And it's kind of like your basic, 30 minutes of game time, maybe less. Depends on how fast you maybe get it, or something like that. But the best thing is, high risk, and guess what? The best thing about it is, if you play like a map like a Legacy or Monolith, high risk, high reward, especially longer game times, because they'll give you a lot of XP and credits. Because let me tell you this,
good call. Oh,
because once you get into like a 10-minute skirmish to beat to the core or something like that, you only get less XP and less credits. I am warning you, the longer the game, the better the rewards, and it is awesome. During the Paragon days, when Paragon was, still a thing.
Absolutely, that sounds like a sick concept. And I like how you touch on that too, because I would think also in the, and I know I mentioned this, in the game of chess, okay, period, it's just a regular board game, so no copyright and trouble there. So, it's just number one chess. You guys do like it, don't like it either way, but it's a very strategic game. And honestly, it can go on for as long as it needs to, because a mind that is your opponent gets the time to think about their play. It's almost the same in this, except it's all fast paced, which is so sick, because it's all just third person, right down in the action. You got to be quick and on your toes. Another reason I really think the jungle being so big is so sick. But also, like you said, besides the experience and all the boosts you get and that kind of thing, it's just really the fun part of it would be the actual payout for when you win and what that took to win that. It's almost like going into war. And that's what I truly feel like every member wants, because if this is going to be a competitive at a tournament level, people want to feel like they're going into war, not a little game of air hockey. This isn't just a few minutes and then you're out, like a car game, no offense, but you jump in, you play a couple matches, you try to, put your deck up against the other person's, and then it's over. But this is going to be more of and like a war. I can already feel it with the map being so big, so much time put into the design of it, which is awesome. I can feel the designer's heart coming through with everything in just visuals. And I'm just looking at black and white right now, guys. We're just looking at gray. But, it just is so... honestly, the whole bushes idea, just like in League of Legends, in other MOBAs where you can just kind of hide from view and things like that, that in general is just blowing my mind to see, okay, guys, get out the way. Like, literally, before it might have just been a small PlayStation game. Yeah, play it here and there. But now this is coming up to a competitive level. Starting on PC, as far as I've heard, and going from there.
Mm-hmm. I've played Legacy ever since Countess was first introduced into the game. And during the Halloween event for Legacy. And let me tell you this. Once I first got into Paragon, I first played as Gadget, and I don't even know what I was doing most of the time because I'm trying to get used to the whole entire thing. And now it hit me from game after game and deck build and deck testing and deck building, it really hits me there. Especially, you need to prepare yourself. If you're experienced Paragon players, you need to get in. Before you even get in, you need to prepare yourself. Like what the announcer said, prepare yourself for war. Because, let me tell you this, prepare yourself a deck. If it works, go on to the battlefield, and guess what? Thrash. That's all you need to do. And come out on top. Especially if you need a lot of farm carries.
And that's really awesome to even mention that too, because instead of decks and cards, no offense, Core has decided to take a different turn, which I'm really actually on kind of a edgy stance on it. I like it because it's new, and I'm hoping it's not new crap. Okay, everyone I hope is hoping that, but at the same time, I really feel like they have a great concept of where they're going with it, as far as artifacts go, and being able to increase a line of them, or get like full house, if you will, where you get a bonus having a full match of a certain amount of different artifacts to go from there. And so the idea would be, okay, you're going to start building these artifacts, but then if you need to build some more attack speed and less health, then you're not going to get this bonus in the middle here. And I just really feel like that's going to help players want to play more. Like, they go, okay, screw attack speed, I don't need that. I need defense. I need to start there. I need to run defense, you know what I mean? And then get that bonus and then go to the next. And I truly feel like Core knows what they're doing with that. I will really throw that out there. I feel like Core knows what they're doing with that, and I'm really excited to see what everybody else thinks of that and how that's going to turn out.
Okay, so what I think of the item system for this from Proof of Concept Episode 3. If you didn't watch that, it's going to be the itemization presentation that Sofin has go through for the for Core. Basically, the item system is basically Legacy card systems, but it's kind of simple. It's kind of dumbed down simple. Because you'll have your main artifact, then you have 3 upgrades. One, if you complete the upgrade, you can get like bonus damage, or bonus attack speed, or bonus health, once you fill up that row, I'm thinking there's gonna be like 5 slots or 6 slots. Yes, five
They
artifacts.
got it.
5 artifacts with 3 upgrades, all filled up. You should be set for late game because late game, that's mid game and late game where it shines. Especially if you're talking about late game heroes like ADCs or tanks, even assassins, junglers. Well, I call junglers assassins, so who the hell am I kidding, right? But for early game heroes, like for instance the mid laner, the casters, need to focus on like early game damage, early game penetration, mana regen. Some simple things that can go a long way and change the game. I kind of like it, but I don't kind of like it because one, it can be kind of confusing if for deck building, for item building wise. I'm not even going to call it deck building anymore because cards are gone. But item building wise is kind of confusing for the most part. Meaning that you're going to be spending hours upon hour, like my friend Dark over there, who spends hours upon hours trying to build a deck for his for the next game. But we're not going to go into deep into there because I'm going to let that slide for a minute.
Yes, the good old times. I mean, when I get started on something, I got to do it the best I can, or else there's no sense in it. I just give up anyway. So I just go into it full heart and just do the best I can. I truly feel and also believe that too, Phantom, that it's really going to be about the artifacts making a huge and the most difference. I feel like the artifacts are going to blast the cards out of the way, not even thinking of, okay, you can use this card, you can use it, you can't use this, you can, and also how sick that's going to be, because the main, I would say the shine point in their design there is the different aspects you'll be able to actually level up and rank up and increase throughout a match. You guys have seen it on other concept videos, I'm sure. The core is done for you here. There are tons. You've got attack speed, you've got movement speed, I mean, you've got defense, you've got attack, you've got attack defense. It's just, there's penetration, obviously, and just so many different awesome aspects of a certain category for your playstyle that you can increase. I kind of find it pretty sick. I mean, obviously, cooldown is a really important one in a full action game like this, where every second, even millisecond, matters. So if you just go into full cooldown and say you're running Chimera, that's just full game. You need to just back the fuck out of the jungle and just try to do something else, because it is going to be full game.
The next thing that I want to talk about is the UI system that is in presentation of concept video number 2, that is from Metabuff itself, where a person will explain the UI and the HUD components of the game, especially in-game. What do you think about the HUD? Is it a little bit too complex to see? There's like a bunch of stuff that's going on the screen. How are we supposed to know if the person is right there, if a person has his ult, if a person has his has enough levels to go compete in a team fight much. Let me tell you this, to be honest, the HUD itself looks like an RTS. If you don't know what an RTS is, it's like a real-time strategy. If you ever played StarCraft before, or what's that other popular game? Not World of Warcraft, because World of Warcraft is third person. Something else. But it looks like RTS, like Dota 2, League of Legends, and StarCraft that I mentioned. I don't really like it, but I think we're gonna get like an update where we can like change the UI. Bring the map to like the right side of the screen instead of like bottom left, because it's going to be... I won't even worry about the map at all, unless I can actually get a good glimpse to my right of the screen to find out where's that person and how am I supposed to locate that person. Just give it a little ping right there.
You sound like an assassin already.
Man, hey, I always keep my mini-map at the right side of the screen most of the time, okay? Not at the bottom, but it's going to be occurring one of these patches here and there. So, yes. What do you think about the UI? If you ever seen it, I think I did send a picture to you on the message.
Yeah, definitely. Referring to that, I feel as if we are all looking at the perspective of I don't want to be let down, and honestly, I can completely concur with that for everyone because I feel like we want this to shine. We want this to be a one-hit blowout. Like it's just going to be absolutely awesome. It's going to take over MOBAs in general, and it's going to just snowball effect and keep getting better without becoming worse. Because one another thing that's really important is this is fan base made, and I think any game for any console, honestly, that's fan base made is really good.
Fan base made that is about to go into PlayStation. Don't get me wrong there. You're talking about a big company like PlayStation. You're talking about a big company. So, and also Microsoft as well, Xbox and all that, but yeah.
Yeah. So exactly. So the opinions and the ideas and that sort of thing for each player and each consumer per se all matter, which is really sick. So setting aside our fears and doubts, I would honestly say it's about if we're going to be able to know, like you had said, where is who on the map at a certain time. But that also isn't just because of information. Because one thing that we learned from the concept video Core's brought up for us is along the lines of having a lot of information on the screen is best, and that is tournament style. You want to be able to quickly find out as much as you can about the map and the exact moment in that exact moment as you possibly can. And I feel like that honestly is a game learning curve. I don't think any sort of customization of any HUD is going to make that any different, besides maybe a voice operator person screaming in your ear. You have 2 weapons available, your cooldown's done. You know, and at that point it's like, okay, now you really understand what's actually taking place in the match at a quick pace, but does that really help the actual visuals? So personally, I feel like the less they do with the HUD, the better, because that gives us all that time to build on it, to say, okay, I know where the map is here, or I know where my items are here. I'm gonna have to play a lot of games to get used to this. I'm gonna have to play a lot of games to begin to utilize this and even use it to my advantage, and all that I feel like is all come into thought from Core, and I feel like they are going to bring us the official HUD, and I agree with you as well too, Fanta, because I hope that they bring customization. I really do. Easier. It's just going to make it a lot more comfortable for each player to have fun, win or lose. And I literally feel like that is the point.
Okay, because I just want them, for the beginner players, to, if they're ever interested in Core, to, you know, get comfortable of the whole entire thing. You know, go show them the ropes and all that kind of stuff. We need a good tutorial system, okay? Do something like League of Legends, or okay, that's a bad example because League of Legends is not that good.
The tutorial's long and interesting for sure.
I meant sure it can get you to the details, of course, but League of Legends is League of Legends is an example. Smite is a very bad example, but but yes, we do need a good tutorial system. I mean, a very good tutorial system for beginners of MOBAs and all that kind of stuff. Get inside. Let me finish.
Lane would be great. Oh yeah, of course.
Let me finish. At least make the UI comfortable for beginners, so they won't feel overwhelmed with the whole entire, you know. Who's that? What is that supposed to mean? What is that green light that is on their character or something? I'm kind of confused. I don't even know what the heck this stuff even is. Like, what is the 2 swords that it has a number on it? Or what is the gold symbol right there? You know, something that makes it a lot more easier for, you know, beginning players. That's the one thing.
For sure.
That's the one thing for Core, for Metabuff to keep note on. Next thing is obviously we're gonna be having all of our 38 heroes back into the battlefield. I mean, especially for an alpha. How cool is that? You're talking about all 38 heroes being ready. How awesome is that? I mean, we already have some of our some of our old faces that we know and love, and some new ones that we never saw. Like, for instance, Boris. We haven't seen Boris in a long time, because Boris was even talked about during Epic Games Paragon Life Cycle. Boris is actually pretty interesting, especially for a bear. A mutant bear could be running around the battlefield. Do you think we're going to be seeing Boris in core? Don't know.
Interesting, huh?
Yeah, very interesting. I mean, they keep on talking about Boris like it's like nonstop, but they haven't even made the character yet. All they brought out is the art concept, and that's really about it. And just to bring out on that last part about the whole entire information and all that kind of stuff, we already have like our support heroes that bring out information. Like for instance, Wraith, you know, with his little ward that he shoots out from his shoulder. You know, bring out intel there, because Wraith, as I see Wraith, he's more like a support character than actual mid laner, especially if he's like so-called the overseer. You know, that intel person who's going to be bringing you information about where is the guy located. The only thing that he won't be able to ward with his little shoulder rocket thing for warding is Orb Prime, because Orb Prime needs a special type of ward, like a Sentry ward or Original Ward. Oh, yeah, Original Ward. That's really about it. Let's yes. What's the next thing that you want to talk about? Do you have any like insights of your own?
Myself, I'm just kind of thinking. It all just is overwhelming, honestly, and I am too super excited to see how far this goes.
I meant, hey, we are. I think, if I'm not mistaken, we are literally 2 more months away. We're just now starting February, and it's gonna literally show up at the end of April. April 27th is where the closed alpha begins for core. For PC players, you can go on ahead and play it. Give it your best shot. I mean, if it works, it works. And that means it's PlayStation certified, because they already brought it out from Proof of Concept episode number 1 that is going to be PS4 compatible. Everybody celebrate.
Oh yeah. PlayStation players, rock it out! It's party time.
That's not. Yeah, that's not how you said. Oh yeah, I'm talking about whoop whoop. But okay.
Yep, big time. Whoop whoop. Okay.
There you go. Now that's the Enix that I know. That is the Enix that I know.
I am excited. It's gonna be good. Ah, man. Even going back through my awesome replays of Paragon, just miss the game in general, and
Yeah,
I'm so
definitely.
excited to see it all back.
Now this one is I got 2 more questions before we even go to our optional question of the day. 2 questions is, what do you like about map A and what don't you like about map A? If you
Well,
this is coming from Soflux's video. This is all credited by Soflux, so just to let you know that. What I do like about map A is, like, it literally takes some time to get from location to location. I'm talking jungler-wise, because it'll take you time to get farm, because it literally takes you 15 seconds to go from buff to buff, or from camp to camp if you're going across the middle lane, if you know what I mean. Second thing is, the map itself, especially if you're talking about AoE for abilities, that means it's 2 times as long as from Monolith. Monolith is like very short, and then you can like instantly lock onto someone, like boom, like at an instant. I wish we could have like 2 maps, 2 game modes for one of them is Monolith, the other one is Legacy, and the other one can be like an arena, but that's for another time. What I don't like is the What I don't like is the river camp in the middle. The river camp in the middle seems out of place because you're talking about having a shadow wall between left and the right side of the middle lane. And you can easily see the river camp at the middle lane if you like look down. They're going to be on each side. I was thinking about, bringing it inside the shadow, the shadow wall. As a more of a, it'll take some time, getting it. The jungle needs some work, to be honest. I mean, the jungle, I like the whole entire aspect of the jungle because you get, like, 3 camps here, 3 minion camps here, and then 2 minion camps on the left side. And then red buff and blue buff. And also a green buff, if there is a green buff. The next thing that I want to talk about is the buffs itself. The buffs itself seems out of place. Because what I remember, the buffs are actually so close to the river and to the lanes itself. Like, there's like a little tunnel area for once you like enter through. Like, say if you want to exit the right lane and then exit to the jungle, enter to the jungle, there's the red buff right there. I'm gonna actually bring up a picture of what I mean exactly. There's like the red buff right there, and then the exit to the jungle to the right lane. That's where the red buff's supposed to be. It's like so close to the river. The blue buff, so to say, is actually ends up in the. It's kind of hard to remember because I haven't played. Like, it's been a while since I played like Legacy before, since I ever tested out Legacy. But I think the left lane, the blue buff is supposed to be in the left lane. I know that for sure. And if you're ever thinking about placing wardens there. Like, there's remnants, not wardens, remnants. It's gonna be, you need to space out your jungle camps even more. So that means you're gonna be having kind of less space for you to travel, but you could have more jungle camps. But that's kind of like a bad thing, to be honest, because you're gonna be cramped up and all that kind of stuff. Well, you're cramped up in Legacy, so I'm not sure how that's gonna solve the problem. So I think you need to space out your jungle, especially if you're talking about remnants and river camps. You need to space them out even more. Expand it, and then place the buffs in the correct order. Like, for instance, right buff goes to right lane, or red buff goes to right lane, blue buff goes to left, or the jungle buff goes to middle. Simple as that. Not the jungle buff goes to the jungle to the left and the right side, the far right side from the enemy spawn. Or the enemy's part of the jungle. Simple as that. That's really what I think about the jungle itself, to be honest. Your Prime stays where it's at. The good old Prime Guardian himself, the freaking king of the objective jungle. And the Raptors stays in that place because the Raptors, right? Freaking Raptors, am I right?
Well, so I would say one thing I really like, and one thing I really don't like, they're kind of few and far between, honestly. I just in general, I'm really excited for the game again, no matter what it is. If it's a pile of junk that's going to be fixed into the massive of machines, like, I'm fine with that. But I think at this point, the jungle is big. So I almost go exact opposite of what you were actually saying there, Fanta. It was funny because as you were saying, that's what I like, I was like, well, that's what I don't like. I didn't want to say anything because, honestly, it looks like an absolute maze, and that it will take a long time to get through and to go around, and I feel like the increased movement speed is very much going to help. So I feel like once we've played an actual match, then I can really say, okay, I do like this or I don't like this, But I would say for the size of the jungle would be what I find intimidating right now, and until I know my way around it, it's probably going to stay that way. But as for something that I like, I really think I like the most the spawn points on each sides. I love how they are elevated as of now. And I feel like that center point there in the middle, at the beginning of Core's demonstration of the actual level here, that if that is where the core is going to be for each enemy's core or our own core, that is a pretty cool place to put it, to say that you have an elevated respawn point above, and then your actual charm and your core, which you're trying to protect, down below. I feel like that's really sick. That's going to put Gideon and a whole bunch of other really, really cool characters that deal with elevation at an advantage. They can, like, use their teleport out there and then, you know, go for the ultimate black hole ultimate attack. You know, at that point, you would have a height advantage. So I feel like just because of that
forget about the black hole
advantage, yeah, I can't forget about it. That destroys and devours everything. I just feel like that's really an awesome, like, wink at the game. Like, hey, you remember in the old MOBA how you were able to be destroyed even when you're back at your respawn point? It's like, okay, where is it to go that's safe? You know, where is it that I can go that's safe? And I feel at this point they're going to have we are all going to have a much more safer refuge to be at that top point. Maybe sling some spells from up there, or I mean, if you're an assassin, just flip off of there, and you're already taking height advantage. So just come down and start defending your core. So I feel like that's really going to help. It's going to help teams stay alive and be able to stay elevated above the battle and allow the opponents to just hit that core with all they have and still keep a good team fight going, even at the very, very last few seconds of the game. I feel like that's really going to really help games. And I would say that would be what I like about the map so far. Honestly, I feel like everything else is just kind of its own design, and I'm excited to see what it's like. But as of how it's changed or different, that's what I like. And how big and intimidating the maze of the actual... Because, I mean, it's in black and gray right now, so it's really hard to tell different areas and things as he runs his Kalari across the sky, but it does look like there's places you could go in and between and under and over, and I really like that. So I do like the different levels of the actual jungle, being able to go over the trees and under and around and up and all that. That's going to be fun. I feel like that's going to bring a whole new, like, jungle experience for the jungler and just the laner alike.
Yes, that's definitely true. Now, this one leads to my optional question. Does this game has esports potential? That is the real question.
More than Dota, if you ask me. I have definitely not been...
Trust me, let me tell you this.
Dota.
To be honest, that game will not compare to Dota. It'll be the second runner up to Dota, but definitely Dota's on the top, okay? Let me tell you this, because they have a higher prize pool than any other game out there. So, leave Dota out of it. Dota's at its, you know, finest peak. Especially if they're going into the International 2019, which I'm kind of excited for, because I'm actually ready to sit down and watch my favorite team in on stream as they battle each other out in Shanghai. But I'm being sidetracked here. Go on.
No, it sounds awesome, and I definitely don't mean to bash or bring in other games, but I mean, I don't play Dota, so I'm not sure myself there. I know it is a loved game and played a lot, so that's awesome, but I feel like this is going to be for those fans of Paragon, but I feel like just because of the immensity of the map and how it's not just a top-down view or semi-3D, I feel like it's going to bring a new breath to the MOBAs. An isometric view from above like that. Exactly.
Do I really think this one has esports potential? I will say yes. Because you're literally talking about veterans of Paragon. Like, for instance, if you want to talk about some people, I'm talking about Talkflit. I'm talking about Blood Mortius. I'm talking about J. Leo Grande, for crying out loud. I am talking about the key players that we know and love
We're
throughout the
talking Phantom Saint. We're talking Dark Enix. I mean, you guys, you know the legacy. Just kidding.
You're not a legacy player, so quiet.
No, no, I'm not. But I'm so excited to see where we all go with it. I'm sure it'll be a blast. Yeah, oh yeah.
Man, you're talking about key players that actually played during the Paragon Exhibition tournament that actually qualified and actually go for that trophy. We're gonna see those. We're gonna see those players, and what we can learn from them. How can we counter them? How we can, learn from other players. Because let me tell you this: it's gonna be that point in time where we're gonna be battling the same people that I just mentioned: J. Leo Grande, Talkflit, and also our good old Blood Mortius there. Do I see this having esports potential? Yes. Meaning that a lot of people actually play Paragon. I remember there's like how many users that actually logged in to, actually try out Paragon? Like I was like under 1 million, but like up to like 500,000 players that actually signed in to play Paragon. We are gonna be growing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, imagine that for the future of core.
One of those players gets one more player. Imagine that.
Sure, bring a friend if you like. I mean, it's gonna keep growing and growing. By the end of the day, we're all gonna have fun. I mean, hey, that's the whole entire part about this.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. Straight up.
And remember, our motto, especially for all you newcomers out there who are willing to play core right now, especially for all you experienced players. The only way you know how to win is exactly know how to lose. And never, ever get there.
Ever get there. That's right. The Shadow Army. It's gonna be live. It's gonna be sick.
There you go. That's basically the end of the Behind the Shadows. If you ever want to see more interviews like this from me and my friend Dark Enix, the leader of the Shadow Army, please like and also comment, and if you are new, please subscribe to our YouTube channel to become one
cheesecake with the professionals.
Like I was saying, if you please like, comment, and if you are new, please subscribe to become one with the Shadow Army, and I will see you guys behind the shadows.